There was a big ABC card. It's something the UFC is doing, that they want to expand their brand, get the word out there about the sport. And up until the main event, it really felt like they were doing a great job.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a lot of the fights on that card were super fun. One fight on the prelims that I'd want to highlight was Jack Shore, because we were talking about that fight beforehand. We're like, this is a fight to watch on the prelims.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's undefeated, and he got smoked.
Slept.
You know what I mean? Round 2 submission, lost to Ricky Simon. It was pretty decisive.
Yeah, and the submission was like hardcore.
Oh yeah,
like he was not coming back from that.
No, and
what was it again? It was
I don't know.
I can't remember the name of it. But yeah, it was crazy because I turned it on literally just at the ending of that fight. Like, I had just missed it a little bit, so I turned it on.
Me too.
And he had just like gotten into the submission, and I missed everything leading up to it. So, and UFC, I can't watch the fight anywhere.
Like like afterwards?
Like the full fight afterwards. They're pretty good at keeping their content locked and key. So.
It's so funny when the UFC does that with their big KOs too. When it's like...
It's an NFT though.
But like, yeah, they want to keep the NFT, man. But like, it's off of... Like, it doesn't show up on Instagram for like the next 12 hours.
Yeah.
Because they can like manage that.
But for
and
what?
then it's everywhere.
Yeah,
then it's
like,
everywhere.
Gets taken off Twitter, gets taken off Instagram. For what? For what?
So we don't see the cool thing that happened in your sport?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then they're gonna sell it as an NFT. I'm gonna wear it around my necklace.
And I'm
get a little made one.
I own this KO. What does that mean? I don't actually know, but I own it.
I paid way too much for whatever this is. That's
nobody in the comments explained to me what an NFT is. I don't want to know.
So there was that fight in the prelims.
That was in the prelims, and then the main card started, and there was a lot of good fights to note. Like, Lauren Murphy bounced back after her loss from Valentina. Lauren Murphy kind of beat the crap out of Miesha Tate.
Yeah, she definitely had her. The first 2 rounds at least, Tate had a little bit going in the third round. But it was pretty one-sided the whole time.
Yeah, like it's not like it was like domination or anything, but that was like a pretty like she was beating her up. She was piecing her up pretty good.
Yeah.
And she was looking bloody after that.
Yeah, she didn't look good after that at all.
And there was a lot more blood to come, actually, like on that main card. Holy smokes. Because right after that was, I don't know if it was right after, but Shane Burgos fought. That was, Shane Burgos fought Charles Jourdain, the Canadian.
Yep.
Very questionable decision.
You think it was a questionable decision? So here's the thing. I thought that third round was a 10-8 for Burgos.
I don't know. It was tough. Like, he was getting hit way more, but he got his back a couple times and was winning some of the grappling exchanges. I don't know. Like, I'm not a judge, and I was at work, so I was watching it on like a TV at work. So it's not like I was like analyzing the fight or anything. But I don't know. Every time I was looking up, it looked like it was going. It wasn't quite going Burgos' way.
No. Okay. And just to correct myself, I thought Jourdain had a 10-8 round, that third round.
Oh, okay.
Because he was losing those first 2 rounds. It was questionable, like you said.
Yeah.
But that third round, I thought he had that. Like, I thought there was no questions about that third round.
Yeah, like, I don't exactly remember the rounds, but yeah, that doesn't surprise me, because every time I was looking up, it looked like Burgos was losing most of the exchanges on the feet, at least. I don't know. It was a good fight. Shane Burgos is a very fun guy to watch.
Yeah.
He always has a good place in the UFC, and I don't think that Jourdain lost anything from that loss, you know?
And I thought, so again, this fight is another good example of why we need live scoring in the UFC.
Yeah, live scoring would be way fun.
That's just another prime example on why they need live scoring, so that we can know. Like, it's literally the only sport where you have no idea what the outcome could be if the match ended now. Like, any other sport, even like I do believe figure skating in the Olympics now has live scoring.
Really?
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that was a thing in the last Olympics.
All the skating fans out there.
You never know. Hey, I like watching any sports that are on TV. So if you happen to know. But yeah, so that's just another thing that I took away from that fight. So moving on.
And then there was that Matt Schnell, like literally like comeback of the year fight.
Oh man.
Like that was such a sick submission. Bloody brutal. You should have seen the comments under the Twitter post. that TSN put out, where TSN's like, look at this crazy comeback, whatever. The people were like, that's disgusting. This is not a sport. This is brutal. Like, yeah, it is. But it's awesome.
Yeah. There's whatever. I don't have time for that.
No, it's just, but like that was a brutal submission. That was pretty awesome.
And I didn't see his arm was pinched in there, like between his thigh. Yeah. I didn't see his arm in there until they showed the replay from a different angle. I'm like, oh my, his arm was in that, like pushing against his own neck, and that was crazy.
That's the submission, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's I didn't know that. I'm a very recent UFC fan.
Yeah.
Pretty much since I've met you.
Yeah, since we've been watching every friggin' card.
So that was very cool to see from just a fan's point of view. Just a crazy fight.
And then another crazy fight right after that was Li Jinliang, the Leech man. That was a great performance.
Calls himself the Leech.
That was such a good performance, though. Like,
you think so? Yeah.
After he got like ragdolled and like destroyed by Hamzat Chimaev in his last fight, like that was a good performance. He kind of smoked Muslim Sakilov. I didn't hear them pronounce it on the broadcast, but like,
they avoided it.
They didn't know how to pronounce it either. But that was a great fight. Like super entertaining for the New York crowd there. And then that co-main, Michelle Watterson.
Yeah.
Karate hottie.
That's right.
She took the L.
She did.
Against Amanda Lemos submission in the second round. That sucked. Just because I've seen Michelle Watterson lose a couple fights recently. So it's like, she's one that you kind of want to see succeed. Amanda Lemos, she was coming off a loss too, I'm pretty sure, against... Oh, I can see her, but I don't remember her name. Anyways, that was a good fight too. Good little co-main, nice submission. Like you could tell Michelle Watterson was really upset with that loss. Like she had some tears in her eyes. And then we got to the main event, which I wrote down as a disaster, just because it was like anticlimactic. Like the crowd there was like, all the clips I saw, the crowd was going crazy, and then it was shaping up to be a great fight.
That first round was crazy. Like, just it was pretty back and forth that first round, and who doesn't want to see that between these two guys? Yeah. And especially for it, literally at the bell, it was going back and forth, back and forth. There was no, I don't even know what the score would have been for that first round if they get out of it.
Yeah, maybe Yair, but it was definitely tight.
It was pretty close. And especially because after all the fights we just talked about were pretty good. And then you just have that ending. Shoulder comes out of socket, and you just see it go pop right out, and not much you can do, unfortunately. It's kind of like the eye poke we saw a couple weeks ago with Sugar Sean. That's the rule.
It sucked, continue. But I think that was definitely like a legitimate win for Yair. Like, really? Yeah, like I think he should be, like, he was going for an armbar, and it's like, sure, you're not trying to go for like a shoulder dislocation. That's not your goal.
Yeah.
When you're like on your back trying to armbar a guy, but obviously he held his arm hard enough that the guy's arm came out of its socket.
In a weird spot, yeah.
Obviously it was somewhat effective, right? Yeah. The guy couldn't keep fighting.
I don't know. That's just disappointing because that's two stoppages of good fights that we wanted to see happen.
Yeah.
That's what's upsetting about that.
Yeah, you get into stints like that. But other than that, I mean, it was a really cool card. Like I said last episode, a sneaky banger card.
That's right, yeah.
There was a lot of good fights on there, but that really opens up the featherweight division because both of these guys are coming off losses to the guys who recently fought for the belt, one defending the belt, obviously Volkanovski, and now that Yair has like a kind of like, obviously like I just said, it's a legit win over Ortega, but it's not like he like pieced him up and like decisively was like, I'm the next guy.
Yeah, like it wasn't a 1 round crazy
where it's
takeaway.
Like, give me a title shot.
Yeah,
it didn't do that for me, you know. Okay. So it kind of opens up the featherweight division for a lot. Right now, Volkanovski might have to be out for a while to get thumb surgery.
Really?
Yeah.
It's that bad?
So, yeah. So that might delay his climb up to lightweight. So.
But with lightweight in the conversation, they did announce on that ABC card.
Yes.
The highly anticipated October 22nd, Oliveira will be up again for, I guess, the title shot because it's vacant.
I guess, yeah.
Against it's Makhachev.
Yeah, Islam.
So I'm pumped to see that. I hate how we have to wait till October, but the UFC knows what they're doing for promoting. So
yeah, I need some more lightweights on that card. I need Dustin Poirier on that card. I need some sick fights. I want Hamzat to fight on that card. Fight anybody. Like, people want him to have like title shot or go for like a number 1 contender fight. Bro, he's had one fight in the top 5, right? Let him fight anybody. Yeah. It's Hamzat. Yeah. It'll be sick.
Well, and I think too the event after that, the next big, because that'll be UFC 280.
That is, a 280.
I think 281, because correct me if I'm wrong, but there was rumors about McGregor coming back in November.
Yeah.
That fight's in October, and I think that's a McGregor thing to come out and be like, he won the belt in a shitty way, and I'm coming back to take. Like, that's just what I kind of think might happen with the whole UFC promoting and the way they're going to roll this out, because they're not idiots. They know what draws tickets, what buys pay-per-view. So I can totally see a couple lightweights on there, because even if there is a couple lightweights, like you said, the Diamond's on there, say something happens and he loses or whatever, he could win, doesn't really matter. It just gives a little window for McGregor to come in and just be like, I'm back.
I know. I hope something like that happens. I'd love to see McGregor fight again. It's just like, he's injured, right? So
I don't even know. Like, he doesn't really post like status updates on like.
No.
I saw one thing a while ago. He went to the doctors, got cleared to train a little bit, but I haven't seen anything over that. But I haven't really done any research into that.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing to come back from. So.
It is, and it is mentally too. So
yeah,
hopefully we see McGregor come back soon. That lightweight division is just lighten it up. Really quick before we move on, I do want to talk about featherweight just quickly, because Dana White talked about doing an interim belt while Volkanovski's out, which I don't think is a terrible idea, especially if Volk's next goal is to go up to lightweight. I think that if they're setting up featherweight for like his return, like let's say he goes up and he wins the lightweight belt, he's going to come down and face this interim champion in featherweight. So there's a bunch of guys that are fighting for that, like Yair, who just won. Like, you can't discount Holloway out of it either. And then there's guys like Arnold Allen. Okay. There's guys like Josh Emmett, who's just campaigning for his title shot, who, come on, like, he barely beat Calvin Kattar. I could talk about the featherweight division all night, okay? We'll move on here, but Josh Emmett, you need one more win. Like, you can't just, like, all these guys are calling for title shots after like one significant win.
But don't you want to see that?
You want to see them call for it.
I wish the heavyweight division was like that.
Like, everybody wanting that shot. Yeah. Of course. You want to see the title shots, but I don't like when they just say, I've done enough to have a title shot. Give me a title shot. Yeah. I'm not going to fight anybody else.
That's fair. And do you, how long did they say anything about Volk? Because if they're going to do an interim belt for his recovery and then he's going to go up to lightweight, I'm assuming if he has surgery, that's a 6-month recovery. Then he goes to lightweight. That's another 2 months. So, an interim belt for like a year?
Well, I think the plan there was like he gets the surgery, goes up to lightweight, and then in that time they like announce and hold the interim belt, like the fight for it, whoever it is, and then he goes up, fights lightweight, and then like 6 or whatever months after that, 4 or 6 months after that, he comes down and he defends the featherweight against the interim belt.
So it couldn't be like a year.
So like that could be a year-long thing.
Yeah.
But I don't think that'd be too bad.
No, because if they're having interim fights and contender fights, they'll keep the division interesting, keep it mixed up. So
yeah.
That's pretty cool. I'm not against that. I'm
not
against that.
And Bryce Mitchell, really quick, the guy who wears camo shorts.
Gotta love it.
He tweeted out, if I fight I think, I wish I knew the exact tweet. It was like, if I fight Yair, do I get a title shot? ? Because I will do that, period. Like, that was his,
all right.
That was his tweet. That's pretty good. Like,
I mean, he seems like he'll fight whoever. It really doesn't matter who you put in front of him.
He's a crazy guy.
Yeah, he's not really going to say no to anything. And he's a humbled man. The last, when he was on whatever it was, I think it was 273.
I don't know.
Something like that.
I don't know the numbers, man.
His I'm blanking on it now.
What?
The videos.
The embeddeds?
The embeddeds, yes. His embeddeds were very cool, just to see, like, Country Farm Boy.
Every time you put a mic in front of my face, I'm going to say Arkansas, baby.
That's right. That's right. And he did donate his salary, which Dana ended up matching, to the Children's Hospital, so you got to love the guy for that. But I think that covers our UFC. It was overall, it was a pretty good card, except, obviously, for the main event we're disappointed with. But like you said, there were some sneaky bangers on that fight card, and it did not disappoint leading up to the main fight. So very happy.